Hi, I'm Nate Manahan, and this is a different high five. If you're watching this, if this is your first high five, usually we come with 5 topics, questions, discussions, some fun about entertainment and sports, a lot of sales and marketing, and a lot of merchant services and point of sale. But as I was coming up with what we were going to be doing today, I didn't feel comfortable without addressing what's going on in our nation. Just like we have when the coronavirus and COVID-19 pandemic totally came across the United States in March, and we have in April and May, I wanted to address the reality of George Floyd. A life that was taken too early, and now riots that have muddied the issues. And I wanted, as PayProTec and as our family, whether you're considering being part of PayProTec, whether you're our partner today, maybe you're a merchant and you somehow see this, I wanted to make sure that we took a voice and took our voice seriously when it came to this time. I wanted to make sure that it was very clear where we stand. But as I was doing that, I didn't know exactly how to put those words together and to do it with the dignity and the respect that this time and this moment requires. So over the weekend, I listened to and watched hours of people that I respect. And over the next few minutes, I'm going to play you excerpts, edited excerpts of much longer pieces. So please, in the links underneath this, wherever you're watching this, you'll find the whole pieces. Know that I edited these, that I tried to make them as clear and crisp as I could, but they are edited because I wasn't going to make a 6-hour video. And I wanted to bring just a few voices that I think help bring clarity, diverse voices. Some from faith, no matter where you stand, I hope you'll find the resonance in them. And some from sports and pop culture, and just a reminder of where we are. And so I want to start out with a person and a man of faith that actually comes very close to our headquarters office. His name is Kandos Mfukwe, and I had the privilege of going to college with him. I now live several hours away, but he is a pastor of the church Mission Point Community Church in Warsaw, Indiana, that many of our staff that work in the PayProTec headquarters office attend. And this past week, he shared some thoughts about what was going on in the reality of racism and prejudice. And I want to start by just hearing a few of his thoughts. Again, I'll be linking to the full version. This was part of a 4-person panel that was talking. But I wanted to share just a few of his thoughts as we get started.
And I think, David just said it. If something is wrong, speak up. I think one of the things that perpetuates this is almost to think it's enough to think something is wrong, to feel something is wrong, and say nothing about it. So your friends are having conversations that are derogatory or that are demeaning, and it may be tempting to say, oh, it's just a joke, as they speak down about people of color, or as they speak down about our white brothers and sisters, and it's like, oh, it's just a joke. No, we need to speak up and call it wrong. If it's wrong, call it wrong. David talked about courage. Come on, like, call it wrong. If it's wrong, call it wrong, call it out. And I think for me, that using our voice to speak up, to call things wrong, to say that's unjust, to say that is not okay, is huge. And yeah, don't defend it in any way. I think we tend to do that sometimes. And the way we defend it is by citing another injustice. Like, that was wrong. What happened to George Floyd was wrong. So somebody may cite another injustice. Well, what about this other person? Well, okay, that's wrong too. Like, let's speak out against the wrongs, but not defend this wrong by citing another wrong and saying, well, yeah, or no one said anything when that happened. So therefore, I do think we just need to use our voices to speak up, to speak out.
And that's what we're here to do today as PayProTec Family. We want to speak up and speak out that what happened to George Floyd was wrong. And the looters and those who are causing violence and harm, they are also wrong. But we don't want to separate from the issue that we know that there are things that are going on in this nation that are wrong. And so as I was looking at that, I remember that this is not the first time that this has happened. And it made me frustrated. And the last couple days ago, a artist that I follow goes by the name Propaganda, Prop Hip Hop. He's a rapper and a beat poet. And he comes, as he calls, from the hood in Los Angeles. And he came and he created just I think it was about a 3-minute poem that he read. And it was called Again. I'm only going to play a small portion of it. But it was a reminder that we just needed to bring a voice to what was happening.
This morning you said we were monsters again. This morning you said the police ain't so bad again. This morning I'm dizzy again, nauseous, fearful, frustrated, angry, detached, annoyed, pissy, exhausted, worried, overwhelmed again. Last night a black man got lynched again by the police again. Last night again. This morning again. Here we go.
Here we go again. And those words reminded me that I have to speak up. And as a person who has a voice and a platform, I've got to speak up for justice and equality. And I have to understand with empathy what's going on, because I live in a privileged status because of the color of my skin, and that is wrong. And I was listening to Bishop T.D. Jakes as he shared a story and an anecdote about his son and what he believes the true reality for all those who are crying out and saying, all we want is equality. Here's a small clip from Bishop T.D. Jakes with his interview this past Sunday.
My son called me the other day. It was about 11:30. It might have been 12 o'clock at night. And he called me.
Which son?
And my oldest son, Jamar.
Okay.
And he called me and he said, Daddy, he said, I'm in trouble. And my heart dropped. I thought, oh my God.
Right.
Because when you call me that time of night and you say, Dad, and the conversation starts, Daddy, I'm in trouble, it's not going to be good. He said, Daddy, I'm in trouble. I said, what's wrong, son? He said, I had a car wreck. He said, and it's real bad. He said, I think the car is totaled and I think the other guy might be hurt. He said, and he hit me. He said, it was not my fault. He was crying. He was crying. He was crying. He was crying. He was crying on the phone. And I said, are you okay? He said, yes, sir. He said, I think I'm okay. I think I'm fine. And I said, keep me on the phone. Keep me on the phone. You know why I said keep me on the phone? I was more scared of the police than I was of the car wreck. I was scared to death. I was scared to death. And when I heard the policeman talk to him like he was a human being, I breathed a sigh of relief. I was scared to death. And I told my son, I said, don't say nothing. Don't move. Don't get upset. Don't go. Don't drive away. Don't panic. Don't freak out. Don't do anything. Keep me on the phone. I was scared to death that I would be sitting beside Benjamin Crump today on CNN. Not of the wreck. I was scared of the police. And until you understand the reality of that feeling, you won't get the utter turmoil that we had, the kinds of conversations that we had with our children.
That don't work, by the way. That don't work. can have all the combos in the world, and you can't sit still enough.
No, you can sit perfectly still. This guy wasn't fighting. He wasn't resisting arrest. We've seen people had their hands on the wheel, hands out the window, still got shot. I don't know what to tell my kids to make them safe.
I know.
I don't know what to tell my kids, my sons or my daughters, to ensure that they are safe.
Yeah.
And what we need, these fraternities of silence to the police officers that are sitting out there, and you are good and you love Jesus and you're kind people. When you see a brother in blue doing wrong, you cannot allow your fraternity to the other police officer to be stronger than your commitment to God.
Mm.
You cannot pledge such an allegiance to him that you betray God to protect him.
Mm.
That's what we want. That's what we want. That's all. That's all we want. That's all anybody wants. We want what you want. It's not a mystery. We want to grow old.
We just want to grow old. That's what we all want. And this is a reminder that we have to stand up and say, look, there are people that experience the world in a very different way than I do. And I know that is true across our more than 3,000 registered partners across the United States. And I don't try to even say that I understand, that I've walked in your shoes, because I haven't. But I am standing up and saying that we've got to continue to stand up. We can't be voiceless anymore. And as PayProTec, we are here to help remind us that inequality is not an option, that justice must become mandatory, and that hope is possible. I wanted to leave with two other voices. This next voice is just a reminder from Reverend John Gray. He's a pastor in Greenville, South Carolina. And he was speaking with a pastor, Stephen Furtick, from Charlotte, North Carolina. And they were speaking together, and at the end, he shared just a little bit of his heart. And I thought this was really a great reminder of how all of us matter. And we have to make sure that is true.
I'm a black man, and my life matters, and it is equal to the value of every other life in this nation and the world. Yes, all lives matter, but this black life, it matters, and George's life matters, and the people who didn't get an opportunity for justice, their lives matter as well. And my prayer is that you will have compassion and empathy in this moment for the pain of people who have never had anyone to advocate for them. And may the church be a voice to the voiceless. And may you feel something. Go back and look at the video, and if something doesn't move in your heart, ask the Holy Spirit to give you a heart of flesh instead of a heart of stone, because if you can watch anyone die and feel nothing, then I'm certain that the heartbeat of Jesus is not yet fully activated in you.
No matter your faith, no matter what you believe, the tradition you were raised in, I believe we should, and we all agree, that the value of life is of the utmost importance. And we desperately need to continue to stand up for life. All lives matter. And we know that George Floyd's life mattered. And we want to make sure that in his death, that we learn a lesson and we grow and we change and things continue to progress. And that's the clip I want to close in. This is of a radio show that was just hosted this morning. It's syndicated across the U.S., but it's hosted here in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I'm showing a clip from his YouTube channel. It's Pat McAfee, who's a former punter and kicker and a sports talk show host. Started out his show this morning, and I knew he would, so I waited for this clip, talking about what was going on. He spent multiple minutes talking about it. I clipped these down. You'll see that I made a couple clips. But I wanted to bring one last perspective of where we are as a nation, and then we'll have some closing words as we wrap up this unique edition of the High Five.
The murder of George Floyd and his passing away last week prompted an entire country to say, hey, you know what? This is going to be the time where we take a stand. There had been protests and injustices before that have all led to this moment, but it felt like the George Floyd murder was one that had the entire country ready for real change in the United States of America. It wasn't just regional. It wasn't just a city. It felt like it was the entire country with everybody representing from every single ethnicity, age group, everything like that saying, hey, listen, this is not what our country is about. Then the narrative got changed. Then the narrative got changed by these rioters and destroyers that were preying on an opportunity and seizing this to become a time where they could just come in and turn cities into shambles. And then all those tone deaf people that were starting to come around and say, yeah, you know what happened to George Floyd, we can't ever let happen again. And although this protest gets linked to the destruction of cities from one side of our country to the other, Indianapolis was no exception. Our entire downtown was on fire at certain times. Every single window got broke. Every single store that we have basically got looted. And that was initially started as a beautiful protest that brought out a lot of people. We had faith ministers out there. People that practice all types of religion were out there. We had every single age group out there protesting. And then when the night fell, they did not care about what happened to George Floyd. They were simply there to spark violence and to do something terrible. And the only reason why I know that is because I was watching a Facebook live stream from a man named Christopher White. He was inside of it, and you could see the protesters who were passionate and really what we were all thinking. They were chanting and singing. Now, granted, there were some expletives, and they were definitely saying some things I would assume that you're not going to enjoy hearing if you're a cop or a cop's family, but there was no violence. They were just protesting. They were enabling their right to do so. And then you turn the corner and you got these guys in ski masks. You got these white dudes with skateboards and baseball bats just popping out windows, bang, bang, boom, and then just leaving. Not even a part of the chanting, not even part of anything. They just used it as an opportunity to kind of lose their minds. And in my eyes, I think we have to remember to keep the protesters in the mission, in the statement, the main focus here, okay? Like, I think we're at a point where all of America is like, yep, this is the side we're on. Now, granted, but we have to keep that mission separate from the anarchy that was happening, because if we tie those two together, we're never going to be able to keep people on the same side as, hey, we're with them.
So as PayProTec, we want to come as a family to a point of unity. And we want to stand for the hope that we believe exists in not only all of you as our PayProTec partners and our PayProTec merchants, but in all of those who live and stand for liberty here in the United States of America and around the world. We stand for equality because we know that no matter your skin color, no matter where you're from, no matter your age or your gender, we all live life, and we just want to grow old. We stand together with our arms linked virtually at this time, and we call out and say, let's make life better. We have hope, and there is hope to be offered. And PayProTec continues to empower and strengthen our partners to provide great solutions for their merchants. But the most important thing today is not the issues that we know that may happen, whether it be hardware, software, or ACH. If you're a partner with us today, you see our emails. Some things are out of our control. But the things that are in our control today is that we stand together for you. And we do that for all of us. And we stand in unity. Thanks for watching this High Five. For those who are partners of PayProTec, we are here for you. Those who are not and considering, we're here for you. Those who have no idea who PayProTec is, we stand with you. And we make sure that we call out the wrongs and we point to the hope that together we will see justice, we will see equality, and we have hope. Thanks for watching this high five. We'll be back tomorrow with more of a normal high five, but we wanted you to know that we stand as one.